Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I am going to show you how to make a simple corsage today. And I'll start with by showing you all of the ingredients that I'm going to put into it. So what we have is expansion bracelet. And this will go on your wrist like so. And then we're going to put some embellishments on it and turn it into a wrist corsage. Now, what I have here is scissors you'll need some wire cutters, you need some floral tape, and you'll need some wires. I have a rose. This particular graduate, I'm making a graduate wrist corsage. She has a very small wrist, so I'm using a small navy rose. This is actually royal blue, but she wanted something the darkest blue that I could get, and this is the one that I'm using today. I also have some leaves, and these leaves are just going to cover some of the mechanics, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And we have some little white hydrangea that's going to go into it. And then I'm going to use white and silver. They're both a ting ribbon, so they both have a little bit of sparkle. And I'm going to show you how to make one of these. I pre-made one, just so that you can see. And I'm going to put some silver beads on it. What I like to do is also add just a little bit of baby's breath or like a tiny little white flower to it. So I'm going to do that. When I do a corsage, I always think about a larger flower, whether you're doing one or you're doing one large flower with some smaller ones. I also, for a second element, I like to think of tinier flowers, like baby's breath, whatever little filler flowers in the colors that the customer wants. And then I like to think of ribbons. And then again, you're going to want to match, her dress or whatever her colors are. Whoa, my hair's a mess today. And then I like to add a little bit of accent or ting. So I'm going to, in this case, because I have the ribbon, it's in a little sparkle, white and silver, I'm going to add some little silver beading to it as well. So let's get started. Okay, my name, by the way, is Linda Harrison, and I've been doing this for probably about 30 years. I'm just new to doing my own YouTubes, and so bear with me, and I'll try to explain as I go along, and of course I'll put the materials in comments for you as well, okay? Now this little bracelet, see these little prongs here? I don't like them. Reason I don't like them is because they just make the bracelet too bulky. And so what I like to do is I like to take my wire cutters and just clip those off to start with. And that's what I'm going to do. Take that off, okay? That one's on there, okay? So, but they do come off fairly easily. Might have to use a little bit of oomph and it'll come off. So, we'll get it off. Okay, still working on that one. Okay. Well, they usually come off fairly easily. Okay, let's try a different one and we'll come back to that one. Okay. Could be that my wire cutters are getting really dull too, because I do this all the time. So, that's probably what it is. But you know what? I am not getting it off. So there is another way. And there's always, always a way to do things. You just have to think positive and think, I'm going to get this done. And you know what? You will. It'll always work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend them back. And I'm going to take some floral tape. And I'm just going to wrap it around there so that there's no sharp edging. And then you're going to see how we're going to finish that off in a moment. But just wrap that around to give it some, give it some padding. Okay. thinking of another area where I got lots of padding. I had a fall the other day, and you know what? It's a good thing that I had padding there. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's what I've done. I've just tucked those back and away. Okay. So now also on the inside of these wrist bracelets, sometimes there's a rough edge. I like to pull that up, you know, to as close to the top so that you don't see that on the back of the bracelet, you know, when the graduate or the bride is wearing it. So I don't want to show that. So now what I'm going to do, I have these little leaves, and I'm going to place them on the top in kind of a spiral flower form. I do have a glue gun here and a glue pen, and that should also go into comments, and I will put that in there that you're going to need that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these glue and put it into the wristlet. Okay, so just going to go like that, tap it down. I'm going to take another one and put some glue on it. I like to put lots of glue. I don't want anything falling apart, okay? And if you get little glue strands, you know, hanging from here and there, you can always pull it off at the end, or you can take a blow dryer on a low speed and kind of blend up. So what I've done here is I put 2 little leaves on it. You see that there? Now I'm going to put 2 more on either side. And get my trusty glue gun. There we go. And we're just going to put those in there like that. Make a little floret. Okay. Take another one. And, you know, you can make these as elaborate or as simple as you want to. This particular girl wants it fairly simple, but of course we've got to make it nice for her too. And but she just has a small wrist, and I think she's just worried about it being overwhelming. But you know what? It won't be. Yeah, you should see some of them I've built. They get pretty big, but I can do, you know, an ankle one. I can do a bracelet one, whatever, you know, the particular customer wants to see. So see what I've done? This is I made a little floret with leaves. Isn't that cute? Yeah, so that's gonna set in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rose. Actually, I'll take the ribbon first. So see, I've already made this one ribbon, and I'm just going to cut off the tail with my wire cutters because I don't want all that wire in there. Just cut it off. Okay, and then I'm going to attach it again with my glue gun. And we're going to take it and just put it off just a little bit center, because we're going to do another one. Okay, so see, like that. I'm going to do another one just on the other side. So now I'm going to show you how to do the ribbon. What I do is I take 3 strands. In this particular case, I wanted to do white and silver. So I'm taking a white chiffon. I'm taking white chiffon. I'm taking a silver bling, okay, and I'm taking a white sparkle bling. Okay, there we go. That just will show up so nice at night, you know, at the prom, at the dance. So now I'm going to make sure that I keep these together, and I'm just going to make 6 ribbon loops. 1, 2, 3. Keep pinching it in the middle when you're coming back and around. 4, 5, and we're going to do 6. There we go. So okay, I've been holding this in the middle all the way through. Okay, so now you've got a whole bunch of little ribbon loops there. You don't have to be too fussy as to, you know, them all being the same length or anything like that, because you can kind of adjust, but the tails I'll adjust and cut, you know, later once I set the rows in there, just to see, you know, what we need. And so I just cut them about the same as the other one right now, Oh, there you go. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my wire and cut off a piece of that. And we're going to wire it together, hanging on to it really good on both sides. Okay. Right down. And then just twist and, you know, 3 or 4 times, 5, 6, whatever you want to. Just as long as it's tight in there. Okay. And that is what that one will look like. And again, you don't have to be too particular, because nothing in life is symmetrical, or doesn't have to be. Let's put it that way. It can look more natural. So there you go. I like to do things so that they don't need to be exactly perfect. Okay. All right. And you know what? It just takes imagination, lots of imagination, and just doing and eyeballing things, and just make it exactly the way you want to have it. You're the grad, or you're the bride. So now I'm going to just put some glue on the ribbon. Set these back out of my way. Okay. And I've already set one of the ribbons into it. Now I'm going to set this one on the other side. Okay. So now what I've got is like that. Okay. And I'll just show it to you on the wrist. Okay, now I've got that. You can make these ribbons as big or as small as you like, because the rose is going to sit in there. I want these all to, you know, hang over or the edging a little bit. So this is why. Now if you take your rose and you're going to stick it right in the middle, okay, like that. And I'm going to put some glue on it, okay, and then we're going to put it in there. Just like that. And now we're going to do embellishing on it. Okay, and you can do as much embellishing or as little embellishing as you like. I like to kind of take some things and look at it and see if that looks good there. And then if it does, I'll put it there. So you can do that. See, the glue's still a little bit wet. You can also, you know, try other little things, you know, popping out. Whatever you like. Okay, so we're going to take this off just so that I can work with it a little bit better right now, but that's the way it's going to go. Okay, all right, so now we're going to use, I'm going to use a little bit of the hydrangea. Okay, keeping in mind too that the bride doesn't want anything too complicated. She does want it, I think, more so on a smaller scale. This is where you got to be able to read, you know, what people want sometimes, because people don't always know what they want, and I'm the same way, you know. So, you know, you get a little bit worried. Is it going to be exactly what I want or not? But you know what? You can kind of tell. And I always get my brides to send me to Google and send me some pictures of kind of what they're wanting. And then that way, I can be on the same wavelength, but I can do it even a little nicer than what, you know, they show me, okay? I'm very particular. I like to make sure all my mechanics are covered. I'm very detailed. So, yeah, I do take my time, you know, on things, and just to make them look nice. And see how that's coming? Okay, can you see it? All right. Like I said, I'm new at this, you know, and I'll get better. But I'm just trying to bring my 30 years of experience, you know, out and help you and in an easy step-by-step manner as to, you know, how to do something if you're wanting to do it on your own. So that's the thing. and we're gonna keep this going. I'm gonna put one more little hydrangea on here, okay? And I have some hydrangea here, okay? So I always just, you know, have my flowers out, and I cut as I need, because sometimes, you know, I'll say, oh, it needs 6 hydrangea leaves, and other times I'll say, oh, you know what, 5 is enough, or I might need 7. So I always want to keep some around in case I want to put a few more in there, okay? And this is the hydrangea. Now I'll put it on and show you what it looks like, okay? So far, okay? Now remember, we've got that ugly seam close to the top, so that when she turns her wrist, you're just going to see this little sparkling bracelet, okay? So see, we've got that, and we've got ribbon popping out here and there, and we can just adjust that as we go, okay? And pull my sleeve up. Now this looks much nicer on a young girl's arm for sure, but that is how we're going to do that. Now what I'm going to do is, I think I'm still going to take a little kind of berry sprigs in there, put that in there, okay? I cut these really small, but a little bit of a long stem, I guess, because I do want to stick the stem in there, but and I want it to be long enough so that you can see it, right? That's the thing, okay? And then I'm going to just put this, oh, let's put it right in there. Okay, and then we can take another little berry spray. Maybe, how about a little bit longer? Okay, take it just a wee bit longer. And tomorrow I'm going to make the boutonniere that goes with it. So check me out tomorrow too, okay? And I might want to hold that there a little bit, okay? Like that. And we'll put one on the other side just to balance it all nice. Okay, there we go. Let's put one in here. Boy, it's nice with a glue gun, you know. Do you know, that's why I like doing artificial flowers. I do live, but I'm a freelance designer, so I don't have refrigeration. So if I do anything, you know, with fresh flowers, I have to do it the night before. But the reason I prefer artificial flowers is you can do so much more with it. You can wire, you can put in so many accents, and you're not losing your flowers or have them wilting the day of your wedding. So you can just do so much more, you know, with artificial. And then you also got a keepsake, and they're affordable. So that's the other thing. You know what? The last thing I'm gonna do, and you know what? That's all this corsage needs. She's a tiny girl, you know, so I think we're gonna, you know, just leave it at this. We're gonna cut some of these silver beads now, and they kind of match the, and I'm going to stick them. It's a little too long. I'm just gonna put them somewhere. I'm gonna eyeball it. And you know what? That's what you're gonna do constantly. Eyeball, eyeball, eyeball. And just make it nice so that you like it, okay? There you go, that one's nice. I like these to stand out a bit, you know, from the arrangement. So I'm gonna stick it back in here close to the rose, okay? We do have some glue, but you know what, we always clean that up later, okay? And I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna do to the back to finish it off right away. And remember I said I don't like any mechanics showing. I like everything covered up, nice and clean, nice and neat, and looking awesome, okay? And there you have it. Now, isn't that pretty? Okay, look against the groom's boot or against the groom's jacket. Whoa. Okay, awesome. Okay, just gonna show you now on the back what I'm gonna do, okay? Okay, can see on the back here? That's ugly. It's really ugly. I'm going to put some leaves on it. And this is the final step too, where you just check everything and make sure everything's attached really well. And you know, if anything's loose, then you're going to be able to fix it right away. I like to give it a shake, you know, and when the bride or the graduate is up dancing the night away, she'll be able to have it looking good all night, okay? And that's the goal, right? That's our goal. So see, I'm just covering up the back with another little floret of leaves, okay? Get my glue off of there, and then, you know what, this is pretty much done, except to adjust if I want to some ribbons, but you know what, I don't think I need to. I like the ribbons the way they are. They don't need to be exactly the same size. Like I said, I like everything just a little bit off, and then we're good. And that's how it looks on the back. So see, you've got a completely covered little corsage, and you can go around and just trim a little bit if you want to, and I'm going to, okay, because I just think some of them are a wee bit long, okay, but yeah, that's nice. That's really pretty. And then you can just kind of just fluff it around and everything. Well, I thank you guys for staying with me and watching this little video. Tomorrow I'm going to do a boutonniere to match, so I will show you how that's done. And please subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to answer, and we'll take it from there. But thank you again. Have a good day.